Now, breastfeeding is both beneficial to mom and to baby, and also to the environment. For the mother, it forms that immediate connection with the child. It's very important for these hormones to be released in her body, for her to start feeling the connection with her new role. Transition into motherhood is not as easy as we think it is. It does take a little bit of time to start, moving around the baby's routine and to simply start enjoying the baby. So in the early days when breastfeeding is so challenging, the hormones that breastfeeding releases in the mother's body actually supports her mood, it supports her state of mind, it gives her the energy she needs to continue to, play her role. And it also gives her the opportunity to rest. So it's a very interesting dynamic. Breastfeeding also helps with the process of healing after birth. So the uterus, it needs to contract, it needs to shrink back into its original size. And the hormone oxytocin, again the breastfeeding hormone, is going to encourage this process. So within the first 24 hours of birth, the uterus is back to half its size. And then over the next 6 weeks of breastfeeding, it's going to consistently shrink back to its original state. So this is something that's very important in order to support the postpartum period, because contractions in the uterus is going to minimize postpartum bleeding, and it's going to help protect the mother from any excessive blood loss. So breastfeeding is protective of postpartum depression. All mothers will have a period of overwhelm or feeling vulnerable in the postpartum. But if this continues for longer than 3 months, it's called postpartum depression. And breastfeeding is really protective of this. But of course, this is more likely only if breastfeeding is going well and is perceived by the mother as a process that's being supported by not only family and friends, but also the medical community. So the breast is like a second home for the baby. From the womb, the baby is taken out and placed immediately on the breast. And that is like coming home, and it is going to create security, comfort, and a feeling of being loved and cared for. So in addition to being a source of nutrition, the breast is also a source of comfort for the baby, and that's how it creates that connection with the mother and with the parent for that matter. The nutrition that breast milk provides to the baby is complete. It changes according to the baby's need as the baby grows. So in the early days, it is high in fats. It's very important for brain growth. And as the baby gets older, baby is moving a lot more, the requirement for protein increases. The quantity of protein in the breast milk automatically increases to suit the baby's demand. So it's really beautiful how breast milk adapts uniquely to the baby's requirement. Breastfeeding and breast milk also helps boost immunity. Exposure to the mother's breast in the early days actually gives the baby an opportunity to pick up healthy bacteria from the mother's skin, which seeds the baby's intestinal tract, and that establishes healthy microbiome for the baby. Now this is protective of the baby, and it's going to really encourage with boosting baby's immunity. In addition to this, breast milk contains antibodies, and these antibodies are unique to what the mother has been exposed to throughout her lifetime. So this is called passive immunity, where the mother's body offers immediate immunity to many bacteria, many viruses, without which the baby would be more susceptible to falling ill. Many studies have also shown that breast milk is protective of asthma and generally allergic conditions such as atopic dermatitis, eczema. So if there's a family history especially of any of these conditions, it's important to continue breastfeeding for as long as possible to minimize the genetic influence of it. So breast milk is also organic. It takes absolutely no cost to manufacture. Okay, it's very natural, and the carbon footprint is very low, which means there is absolutely no pollution when it comes to giving a baby breast milk, in comparison, of course, to formula, where there is a lot of manufacturing cost and the carbon footprint is pretty large. So with that in mind, it's also important to really understand that breastfeeding is very supportive of the environment, And it is also very cost friendly, because the cost of breastfeeding is of course the mother's time, energy and effort, which we will never take away. So breastfeeding is really a very important process both for the mother and baby. It's something that we must encourage, we must support. It takes a village to support a mom with her journey through breastfeeding, which means family, friends, her partner and the entire medical team. We all need to be aligned to help and support a mom through this process. So let's support and encourage breastfeeding. Happy Breastfeeding Week.